Let's call this what it looks like, a clean-up mission. The ANC isn't just reacting to scandal, it's managing it, actively, strategically, and publicly. You don't believe me? Take a look.
So disturbed that my only sense of comfort would only come from a defense that says none of those messages that were laid out by General Khumalo are actually what they purport to be. That would be the only time I have any comfort. In the absence of that, I think I've heard a lot that disturbed me. What was your sense?
Yeah, well, good day, Tulas. My sense is that the commission sits at the intersection of politics, policing, and organized crime. And these are three forces that define the stability of the South African state. But if we were to look at the testimony, I think a three-part testimony of Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, we'd one frame it as perhaps testimony from a person who's seen as an intelligence insider, wherein we were presented with classified intelligence report, of course, some of which an application was made for them to be presented in camera, as well as intercepted communications. But this is a deep indication of deep criminal infiltration in police and political networks. We would have also heard the Lieutenant General name the Big Five cartel, which is alleged to dominate organized crime across KwaZulu-Natal and beyond. And I guess the overarching theme of his three-part affidavit, it's an outlining of criminal infiltration, of procurement corruption, and sabotage within intelligence divisions. But I think if we're committed to long memory, Tulas, we'll also remember that the Lieutenant General himself is no stranger to scrutiny. In fact, you'll remember that Khumalo himself has been the subject of internal SAPS investigations, reportedly involving procurement irregularities and allegations of misconduct dating back several years. Mm-hmm. So while he may not have been charged, his credibility and motives, for me, come under scrutiny in that they add a layer of complexity to the commission's proceedings, wherein, the testimony itself can be seen as a bridge between whistleblower accounts with intelligence evidence, but his own investigations blurs the line between accuser and accused.
So say a bit more about that then. Are you emphasizing the need to be more circumspect in how we approach what we hear, not just from him, but I suppose from other witnesses as well, in that in times like these, are you saying that it becomes difficult to tell which side is the good side, quote unquote?
I guess what's
This is Tulas Simelane and Bophelo Silika. In a prime time slot on SABC News, Silika is introduced as an independent expert. He spends the segment discrediting the WhatsApp evidence presented by General Dumisani Khumalo at the Madlanga Commission. Not necessarily analyzing the content, but he's literally undermining its credibility. This is not journalism. This is narrative control. This is manufactured consent, if you will.
I guess what's important is also for us to remember that the South African psyche that we need to move away from is to view actors in the political or socio-economic and political space as angels and demons. And what I mean by that is simply by providing a testimony is not enough in a state that observes the rule of law to convict or pass any form of judgment on whether the veracity of the claim that's being made is true or not. What we have, fortunately, in terms of commissions is the Commissions Act, which...
Then there's Senzo Mchunu. Allegations swirl around his role in dismantling the political killings trust team. Brown Mogotsi, Kat Madlala, KT Molefe, all linked to him through WhatsApp text messages. And yet, Mchunu isn't ducking the spotlight. He's in KwaZulu-Natal, perambulating, using the words of Fikille Mbalula, giving speeches, delivering lectures, brushing off the storm with lines like "Sonke siyayenza amaphutha, ungasabi kwenza iphutha. We all make mistakes." That's not remorse. That's defiance. That is a show of a man who says to you, "I'm not scared. I'm in control, no matter what it is that you say I've done."
asekubumbaleni kwa wonke lamakhaya ala epholile bamthiya umthiya qhuba nje ukhole uma ukuthi yenza iphutha ulenze nje iphutha mthiya ngoba umuntu ungasabi ukwenza iphutha ulenze nje iphutha futhi uma begxeka bavumele ukuthi seniqedile ukungixeka ubuzo seniqedile ubusho uthi.
And just as General Khumalo links Mogotsi to Mchunu, he falls ill. Abruptly, conveniently, the man who brought the evidence is all of a sudden sidelined. The timing is just way too perfect to ignore. Meanwhile, Fikille Mbalula distances himself from Brown Mogotsi. He says he doesn't know him. He says Mogotsi's ANC membership expired. He says he got an SMS from this Mogotsi person that he doesn't know. And he also says he's not going to respond to it. If Mogotsi was part of the CR17 campaign, why all of a sudden there's amnesia? Why is there erasure? Luckily, Mogotsi went to the SABC and brought receipts, said, oh no, I know you. Even quotes and remembers that Fikille Mbalula appeared on January 8 event in a yacht that was apparently sponsored by some foreign national when everybody else had used one boat. Now, if you don't know this guy, how does this guy have all of this information? Then we have Nathi Mthethwa. He apparently jumped while in Paris. Who does that? That doesn't even make sense. Allegedly, a fall from a closed window, they say. No CCTV footage. And get this, a death certificate was issued before the autopsy was completed. How does that happen? How does that happen? And South Africa then sends 5 seasoned police officials along with an Interpol investigator to go and investigate. What exactly are you investigating if this guy is said to have fallen? Some people are even asking, is there a body? Is there a body? The recent news is saying that the body will be repatriated to South Africa on Thursday and it will be in KZN on Friday, along with the observation of traditional Zulu rituals of fetching his spirit. I'm just saying, watch out, because we're going to hear stories about a cremation very soon. We're going to hear stories about a cremation very soon. And all while this unfolds,
of repatriating somebody who's no more. So which is a very important thing. It allows the Department of International Relations to also do what it's supposed to do as far as this process is concerned. It also allows the health people to start looking as to what are the requirements and stuff. So it's very important as far as that is concerned, that it allows processes which require that somebody should be certified dead before you start getting into those processes. So it has unlocked that. That's the importance of the death certificate.
But you are also still waiting for the autopsy to be finalised. Have they given you a sense of when that will occur? And is there any understanding of why it's taking so long to finalise the autopsy, or is this common standard procedure?
Remember, I'm South African, so I don't know how long the processes take here. But I think if you take the circumstances under which the ambassador passed on, I think they would want to take whatever precaution they want to take. I don't know. But they had said to us latest Tuesday. Remember, that's what they said. So they are still within the time frames that they had given us. That's what we...
Today, the commissions began, the courtrooms were opened, the statements were made, and the contradictions are already here. Brown Mogotsi says he's ready. Fikille Mbalula says he doesn't know Mogotsi. Katiso Molefe's bail was denied, quietly so, yesterday. Cap Molefe returned to court today.
Stem from the failed assassination attempt of Matlala's former partner, Tebogo Tobejane, some 2 years ago. Their case was postponed so that the state could add more charges against Matlala.
There are 2 dockets, one from Pretoria and another from Littleton, that we want to centralize together with this matter. So that process is ongoing. the Director of Public Prosecutions in Pretoria gave consent for the two matters to be centralized, and thereafter forwarded the docket.
So Kat Molefe wants to do, no, Kat Matlala wants to do the thing that KT Molefe was doing yesterday in court. Yesterday, KT Molefe was in court. He was appealing the bail denial, which was upheld. But like I keep saying, you never see mainstream media covering KT Molefe's matters. Kat Matlala wants to do the same exact thing that KT Molefe did yesterday. And the state is also trying to bring in more charges onto Kat Matlala. We don't know. I don't know who is involved in these particular matters, but basically what the state is trying to do is they're trying to try him for all of his matters at the same time. I don't think this guy is going to get bail, but this guy's pockets are deep, so he can come to court every day of the week for all he cares and waste our time, basically. And that's basically what seems to be happening in court today. I was trying to find the clip of Julius Malema. I'm going to play out with it as soon as I find it, where he is raising a point of order to the ad hoc committee that you can't just be asking questions to Mkhwanazi, because Mkhwanazi has not taken an oath. You can always rely on Julius Malema to raise a point of order. Stay tuned, guys. Stay glued to your telephones. Stay glued to your television sets. We live in very interesting times. I cannot even predict what's going to happen tomorrow, but we will see.